Choice. What's up, everybody, and welcome to The Choice. My name is Rick. I'm the author of Everything is a Choice, and we run all the stuff here for the men's group for EIC, which is our Everything's a Choice Warrior Council and our men's group. Check that stuff out, see what we've got on the Everything's a Choice channel, and subscribe, share, do the nice stuff. Please, you know the buttons. Do it, because the more that this grows, the more we get to help more people realize that they are in control and that the choices are everywhere around you. Now, I got a question for you today. This is a good one to ask other people. I think you're going to like it when you see the way that it goes. But the question is, are you a good person? What makes a good person? Most people are going to answer, yes, I think I'm a good person. Not really considering what that really means, or what does it take as a comparison to know if you're good or bad. What does that mean? So a person who answers yes, they seem to have a high amount of justification for their answer. Now my question really does come down to, who are you comparing yourself to? Do you compare yourself to a terrible person you know, like some sort of a pedophile, serial killer, rapist, murder ninja or something, and that's the person that you're comparing yourself to? And compared to that person, I'm a great person. Or are you comparing yourself to Jesus? Who are you comparing yourself to? What makes you think you're a good person? Now let's go ahead and take the characteristics of what you think a bad person does. What do you think about a liar? Have you ever lied? What do you think about a person who cheats? Not even just in your relationship, but like maybe at board games, or cheats at anything. Just kind of fudges it for their own benefit, whether it be a game or something. Have you ever cheated before? What about a person who does selfish things and doesn't really care about if it's going to affect somebody else in a negative way? They're still going to do what they're going to do. Have you ever done that before? Ever had a selfish moment? What do you think about people who do bad stuff but justify it? And this is where good and bad becomes highly subjective. Throughout history, the most evil things that people have ever done has been justified. Something to think about is that people who believe they're the good people will do horrible things like dropping bombs on cities, wiping out entire civilizations, killing innocent people, because they'll do so in the name of a higher authority, be it God, be it liberty, be it justice. They'll find something to make it so they feel like they're the good guy, doing something that breaks the golden rule. Which leads me to, how do we measure if you're good or you're bad? Now what's interesting is how those people who do those things still can say something in their head to make themselves okay with what they've done. Now this doesn't have to be as big or as grand as like destroying a civilization, but even somebody who rapes somebody, somebody who cheats on someone, a pedophile, a person who manipulates and steals, narcissists, you name it. People who do things that go against the golden rule of how they would like to be treated somehow say something inside of their head to make it so they believe they're still a good person. And this is why I find justifications fascinating. It's amazing that we can make up something in our head that makes us feel okay for something that would be the worst thing to happen to us. And because of this, we create an exception for our golden rule. The justifications are what make us okay with ourselves when we do things that we know are wrong. So I remember, I'm just going to put a quote in here. This is from the show The Messiah, and I really enjoyed this. And I may even just put the clip in the video here, but the guy who's playing the Messiah on that show said something where sin is just failure to choose goodness. This means goodness is a choice. To think good thoughts or bad thoughts, to act on them or to let them pass, every moment is a chance to choose to recreate ourselves again. And this is God's blessing. Every moment We get to choose. Now, the confusing part on this is, how do you measure if you're good and bad? We've talked about justifications. We talked about our exceptions to the golden rule, but we should start there. Let's start with the golden rule. Now, when it comes to the golden rule, it's so simple. Just treat people the way you like to be treated. If you don't like your stuff stolen, don't steal. If you don't like to be lied to, don't lie to others. If you don't like being cheated on, don't cheat other people. If you don't like being hurt, don't hurt people. It seems pretty simple. Like, these concepts keep going on for, like, if you don't like being treated this way, you don't want to be canceled, you don't want to be shut down, you don't want to be silenced, you don't want to be isolated or ignored, you don't want to be kicked out, or you don't want to be blocked. If you don't want that, don't do it. So with all of that being said about let's measure what good is, what philosophers throughout time have figured out, if you measure, are you a good person? Or are you not a good person? They found that the people who answer, no, I'm not a good person, what they found is, if you can accept and have the awareness that you're not perfect, you're flawed. There's mistakes that you make. There's things that you've done that you may not be proud of doing. But because you have at least an acceptance that you're not perfect, it gives you the opportunity then to catch it, to choose to do something different. But if you feel like what you're already doing is perfect and you don't really need room for improvement because you're already good, you don't try as hard to do better. There's a video I did called, Are Your Bad Thoughts Really Bad? If you can catch the negative thoughts that you're having, it exposes the opportunity for a good choice. If you catch what I just said, it means when you do something that goes against what you know is right, your cognitive dissonance, you know what you need to do, but you're doing something that goes against your goal. If you can catch what it is you're doing, you then go into a choices state where you get to make the decision of if you're going to do what you know is right or do what you know is wrong. Catching what's wrong, though, gives you the choice to do right. Give you an example. If you want to be healthy and your goal is to get into great shape and you want to look and feel a specific way, and that's your goal, but you know there's certain things that you eat or drink that are going to go against your goal. When you purchase those things, or when you have it in front of you, or when you're about to take a bite or a drink of it, if you recognize this may not be my best thing to do for me, you then have a choice. Your bad thought to do something that you wanted goes against what you overall truly want. And this is the long-term, short-term thinking. The choice is right in front of you the whole time. You can choose to say, I'm not going to do this. Or you can choose to say, well, slow down those goals. Like, I'll work extra hard later, which you may not even have the energy for, depending on what it is that you're eating, drinking, smoking, you name it. The choices come from the awareness of the bad thoughts. So this is why when you ask yourself if you're a good person, people who do the most evil things in this world believe that they are good with justification. But the people who can admit, I may not be perfect here, which gives me a chance to work harder than ever, to do good things. If I know I'm not that charitable, but I want to be, now I've given myself the choice to become more charitable because I don't already convince myself that I'm already good when I'm not doing the thing that I want to do. No matter what your goal is, if you want to do better, you have to accept you're not perfect. Thus, the correct answer, and the funny thing, whenever I work with people on this one, and I see the reaction of people when I go, I'm going to tell you, I'm not a good person. I've hurt people. I've made mistakes. I've lied. I've done things that I'm not proud of, but I learn from those things the most. And this is how I know I'm not perfect and I have room to grow. It's a weird thing that happens when somebody else goes, yeah, that makes sense. I guess I'm really not a good person too. It's almost like giving permission to be okay for who you are. If somebody confident says, I'm not a good person, but that makes me try harder to be one, People can connect that, you know what? My humanity also agrees with what you said. I don't have to give the appearance that I have no flaws. I'm perfect. So I'm going to work on my stuff too, and I can feel proud of myself, knowing that me not being perfect makes me a work in progress. It makes me try harder. It makes me work to be a better person. Thus far, making you become a good person. Hopefully that's not too confusing. I know that I speak in circles sometimes, but reach out if you want some clarity, or tell me, like, the way you said that is freaking crazy. Can you make this more clear? I'd be happy to do that. But this is just one small little tiny piece of the awareness of what we do in the Everything's a Choice group. Our guys, if you raise your awareness that you're not the perfect guy, but you can be better if you catch your bad moments. We work on this stuff as a team because doing it alone is next to impossible. But when you work together we're always stronger. And when you can see that being good and bad is really an awareness thing, you're going to see that it's just like everything. It's a choice. Choice! Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all the time that you guys are putting into any of this stuff. I know that I try to keep these short, but there's always more. There always is. Subscribe to the stuff. And then, guys, check out everything that we've got for our men's group and see if we're the right fit for what you are looking for. We need to unify and become stronger because we help each other grow to be better men, not just for ourselves, but for the people that we love. And they appreciate that very much. So we always work on ourselves, and it's easier to do when you have mentorship or you have guides to make it so you can take decades of figuring it out and get it done within a few months. Enjoy your lives and have some purpose that you're fighting for. So don't make a bad choice. Be a bad person and recognize, I got room to grow. Come grow with us. So in any case, we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching and have a good night. And remember, everything around you is opportunities. Everything is a choice.